Hey guys, Jengar here. Welcome to today's realistic review in which we are taking a look at the Japanese Mitsubishi F1 sitting at 10.3 battle rating. The F1 is quite nice, I have to say. It's a little bit slower than the T2, the predecessor of this plane in the line. I think it has to do because this one has 4 missiles and the other one only 2. They have the same engine, they have the same weight, so it seems the drag of the extra missiles reduces the top speed here and limits it somewhat. There's actually quite a bit of difference there. 30 kilometers an hour on average, that it's slower than that one. But the overall speeds in this plane are actually quite nice. The maximum speed at sea level without the afterburner is 1140 and with the afterburner 1270. At 4500 meters still go up to 908 without and 1117 with, and finally at 6500 meters still go up to 808 without and 1041 with the afterburner. Now that afterburner makes a lot of difference. Really gives you a little bit of power under your hands, and of course in acceleration and stuff like that it really makes a difference. Absolutely fantastic. The top speed in a dive is 1296 kilometers an hour before she redlines and 1430 before she rips apart. Now this is exactly the same as the T2. Control stiffening is starting around 950, 1000 with the first tick and the roll rate especially, and then at 1200 you get a second tick, but that is very late and that's already getting close to the red line before that kicks in. Stall speed in the plane is actually very good with 120 kilometers an hour, which is alright. Now, the firepower is great. You have one 20mm JM61A1 cannon, a Gatling gun with 750 rounds. Fantastic gun. And you also run with 4 AIM 9P sidewinders, which can take a lot of G's in the turns and stuff like that. I am experimenting with my radar here. It's not completely there yet. But the plane has a radar for you more experienced pilots out there. It's gonna be nice. And I'm gonna get the hang of that radar eventually as well. The ammo load in this plane is excellent. Next to great firepower, excellent ammo load. 4 missiles is nice, and the gun is just... it is a rapid firing gun though, so 750 rounds is nice, but it is not like in some planes where you take a while with that. It really goes quickly with the ammo because of the rapid firing of the gun. Now the acceleration in a straight line is great, and in a dive excellent. Energy retention in the horizontal is great, and in the vertical with WebC is also excellent. And that is combined with the climb rate that is excellent. This plane is a joy to fly. And yeah, I've had a lot of fun in it. Now turn time is something that it is not shining at. It is basically atrocious to start with. It just doesn't turn this plane. And bad with flaps. Flaps deployed, they rip off at 830 kilometers an hour. That is nice. It's a little bit less good than the Harrier, for example, but it is in the same vicinity. And you can use the flaps in a lot of situations. You just need to be a little bit careful when you're in a dive, or when you are in a straight line and you've already been there for a while. Just keep an eye on your speed before deploying the flaps. It does give a little bit of a shock through the aircraft, and it throws you off balance. So if you're doing that close to the ground in a maneuver, it can get you killed. Roll rate in the plane is great. It has a fantastic roll rate when it comes to that. But the roll rate only starts to become good at around 500 kilometers an hour and then goes all the way through to 900 kilometers an hour, where the roll rate is the best it is. And then before 500 it's a bit sluggish, this plane. But after 900 it still stays in the vicinity, right? It still stays very good. And after 1200 the roll rate is still good. So it really helps you to get the guns on target in a long dive. And as we get the Gatling gun on target there, we shoot the Harrier down, and we will try to escape the airfield here, which is shooting at us with enthusiasm. Now, the overall maneuverability is average, nothing more than that. It is a big plane, just like the T2. It's exactly the same model, just without the extra seat. And yeah, maneuverability is not a strong point, that's for sure. Overheating in this plane is not an issue. Even afterburner use can go a long way before she really overheats, and that is also a nice thing to have. No overheating issues, especially on colder maps. You won't have any problems. Durability in the plane is decent to good. It can take a hit or two. Nothing wrong with that. Of course, she has 2 engines, so if you do not have a lasting fire on one of the engines, if it gets damaged or destroyed, then you will be able to, especially if you have some altitude under your wings, you can glide, get home with it. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult, but the 2 engines definitely help. If you're already at low altitudes, you really need to be closer to the airfield, but it will still help you get home, and that is a nice thing to have for the survivability. Now, this plane, aside from the sidewinders, the 4 sidewinders and the Gatling gun, has a lot of bombs, rockets, missiles and combos between all those things. There is really a shit ton of stuff to do in this plane. That makes it very versatile. I think this plane can also be very good in tank arby, and it can take on columns. There is a lot you can do with this plane. You can ground pound, you can use it as a fighter, and you can use it in air RB. So versatility is here in this plane. I wouldn't want to be low in this plane though, and having to turn from planes coming from above, dodging missiles. It doesn't have any flare, so there is a downside there in the survivability, but it is fast, and if you keep the speed, I think this plane is best used in a boom and zoom / boom and run capacity. She can also energy fight quite well, although the later MiGs and Phantoms, and especially in the acceleration part, some of the Harriers in the vertical can keep up with you and even outshine you there. So it is important to keep your speed and stay disciplined in this plane. Now, I have been making mistakes. I've been turning. I've been doing all kinds of things to get the plane, to get to know the plane, and getting into turn fights, losing a lot of speed, and then trying to build it up again is difficult. She does drink a lot of the fuel. When you use the afterburner, it really goes really fast. Even 20 minutes, you'll work through that in no time when you use a lot of web. So be aware of that, and try not to web too much, because you will lose your fuel. Apart from the fuel usage and how quick it goes, there's enough fuel loads to work with. You've got 16 minutes, you've got 20 minutes, you've got 30 minutes. 30 minutes is very doable as well. For example, I tried it a few times, and once you climb to around 9,000, 10,000 meters, you will already have lost 10 minutes of fuel when you use complete web from the airfield to that 10k altitude, and then you can work your way down. You're a little bit heavier then, of course, but 16 minutes seems a bit small amount to use, but if you are sparingly with the web, that should definitely work as well. The Gatling gun is nice. You know exactly what you get with a plane like this. You get your 4 missiles, you get a decent performance. A performing plane that is not very maneuverable, but in all the other things, she has a great performance, and she just works well for you. It's a very reliable plane, sturdy. Good ammo loads, great gun, good missiles. It is very nice. She has radar. So you have a lot to work with in this plane. And then sure, there's a few things that you need to keep in mind in this plane. Don't turn in the plane, don't lose too much speed, and Be careful with the fuel loads. There is that, and learn to play with the radar. Like me, I still have to get better at that. But all in all, it's a great plane, and I had a lot of fun in this plane. She really performed for me, almost 2-to-1 kill-death ratio. That is actually quite good for me, guys. And yeah, we get some nice rewards here. Final blow, 40,000 silver lions. Hey guys, so here we are after the match. Now the F1 is a joyful aircraft to fly. You will get good results in this plane. There is no doubt in my mind there, especially if you're a jet pilot that flies constantly in jets. You will have all the mechanics of the jet fighting age automated. This plane is not gonna let you down. It's an awesome fighter, and I quite liked it. I think you want to take this plane over the T2 at all times when it comes to that. It is not faster, but it has much better missiles and double the amount and the same Gatling gun and the same kind of performance all around. So yeah, this one is it's a good upgrade to the T2, and quite nice that the Japanese got something new there because they really needed it. So that's a good one for the Japanese. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I want to thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button, become part of this community. If you are already a subscriber, don't forget to like the video, do leave me a comment, and if you really feel like helping out today, make sure to share the video with your friends and let them know about the channel.